Hello, everyone. My name is Dominique Mihaljevic. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am one of your peer educators today that will be helping out with presenting the LinkedIn workshop for the Transfer Student Center.
Hi, my name's Courtney. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am the other Transfer Center peer educator that will be helping with this workshop as well. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So our first kind of key point is why LinkedIn? Why use it? So LinkedIn is a site a little like Facebook, but more of a professional aspect. It's not so much of social interaction, posting your pictures, things like that. It's a place where you want to present yourself as someone employable, someone who will attract attention of jobs, as well as expand your interests and your education and experience beyond what your resume has. So, and it allows you to also interact directly with recruiters and display your achievements, and the goals that you set for yourself can also be noted somewhere in there. And it helps employers get a better sense of who you are as a person and what you stand for and how you want to portray yourself as a future employee. Next.
Now we'll get into branding and how branding is really important. So you want to make sure that your profile really reflects who you are as like a person and as a professional, and your interests. And these can be interests maybe sometimes related to personal interests if that is relevant to what your jobs and opportunities are around, but making sure to really tap in on your professional and career interests as well. So, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So, having cover photos are really good, and your profile picture is also really important. It's just, again, another opportunity to broadcast and show who you are. And then with that, you want to make sure that you're keeping your profile picture simple. And so we have a few tips right here. So show your whole face, try not to do any selfies, pick a photo in which you're wearing business appropriate attire, and remember to smile. So we have an example photo right here that is a good, very basic, standard, appropriate profile picture. So yeah, this is a little bit on just the beginning of branding yourself, getting yourself out there, putting your best foot forward so that when people come across your profile, they get a good understanding of who you are as a person.
All right, so speaking of interests, you want to focus mainly on, like Dominique said, you can bring in some personal interest if it does apply, but the interests you want to convey on your LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn profile is going to be your career interests, what you want to do, where you want to go, what kind of companies you want to work for. If you're going into communications, companies that revolve around using that as a degree. If you're in a STEM field, such as myself, doing something along the lines of research labs or research companies, or any sort of lab company that will allow you to do what you worked so hard to get a degree in. So you want to highlight those when you're on your LinkedIn and setting that aspect up. And your bio is kind of a snapshot of your accomplishments, why you best fit the position that maybe you're looking for. And a lot of the times it could be the same kind of position that you're looking for, just different companies, or it could be vastly different. So you want to make it a little bit broad, but you want to state what you yourself want to accomplish moving forward in developing a career and moving once you graduate. And you want to bolster your passions with your past experiences. If your goal is to work with people, then you want to make sure that you emphasize that in volunteers, in past work, in any sort of job that you've done that allows you to work with people and help others in some way, shape, or form. So those are the kind of things you want to highlight on your Indeed resume. And the next, as you gathered, I'm going to share a new screen, which will be my Indeed resume, which will kind of give you an idea of, or my Indeed profile, give you an idea of kind of what it looks like. And so as you can see here, this is how I see my own profile. I've got a professional picture. I have something that I kind of enjoy in the background, which is books. I love to read. And then the first thing you're going to see, they're seeing, is your name and your most recent job position. So where you work, what you do, it's kind of a screenshot of what exactly you're interested in or what you've been doing. So they kind of have an idea of where to go. And as you scroll down, there's an about you section that you fill in. And this is kind of your bio. This is where you put your goals, your aspirations, and what you want to do, and kind of a snapshot on how you want to present yourself in a professional manner. And then as you scroll down, your experiences, this is a place where you can put in detail what you do. So on your resumes, you don't want to go into detail about every single task that you did, every little thing that you worked on in that position. You want to highlight what applies that you learned from that job that applies to your new job and your career that you're going for. On your LinkedIn profile, you can go into more detail, kind of give a little broader look as to what exactly you did in that position. And as you can see, it's a long list of jobs. It doesn't fit all of them. And then your education, it's going to be, so as for me, I do have a year of community college just back after I graduated high school. Doesn't necessarily need to be there because I didn't actually get a degree. So something like that, until you actually graduate with a degree, is good to have. But once you graduate with that degree, it's not necessarily relevant. So keep that in mind. And then volunteer experience is another section down at the bottom. And then we have skills and endorsements. So this is a place where people that you connect with can endorse different professional aspects that that they've worked with you on. So in my case, I have a couple of coworkers that have endorsed my customer service skills, my phone etiquette, and my Microsoft Office skills. And Microsoft Office being the entire suite. So Publisher, Excel, Word, all of it. And there's more apparently. And this is where they can write recommendations and any kind of highlights. It's good to have maybe one or two, just showing that, getting other people's perspective on how you work as, in this case, a tutor, and how you have impacted a coworker or a teammate of some kind, or even a supervisor or boss. And then we get down to our interests. So these are any kind of interests that you feel that attract you. So some of these are my past companies that I worked for. Others are things that I enjoy, like TED Talks. I have some connections at the Ventura County, and many other things as well. You can go in and select. just kind of personal things that you enjoy, as well as different companies that you think you might enjoy working for or having some sort of interest in. Dominique, is there anything you want to add?
I actually, sorry, I actually have a question for you.
What's up?
So I was wondering, because I was wondering about this, if you have more than one position, like, or more than one job, can you have all of them listed, or is it only one at a time? Because I see for yours under your name, you have like three, it looks like you have three different,
So I
or
have the peer educator position with the UCSB, and then I have my other job, which has like 3 or 4 different titles.
right.
So,
How did you, because I have another job too now. It would be nice to kind of have them all there, but how did you do that?
so essentially, when you do that, you edit it, this section up here,
Uh-huh.
and then this pops up. So your headline is going to be your positions, and then you just write it all in. I think there's a character limit, but if you word it correctly, I mean, I've got a ton of characters in there, so there may not be, but if there is, if you word it in the most efficient and simplest way possible, then you know, it should portray what exactly you want them to see.
Right.
So
Awesome. I have
yeah.
another question.
Yes.
Also down below, I saw that you had your recommendations, or like someone did like a nice letter for you. Is that only visible to you, or does anyone who goes to your page able to view that? Sorry, are you having trouble?
Yeah. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I'm not sure, but you can. I didn't actually change anything, so.
Yeah, you didn't change anything.
I don't know why it's telling me. So I believe.
Like when you scroll to the bottom, you had like a recommendation.
Yeah, I think you can. Let me see. You should be able to view this as an employer, but I guess I'm not sure how.
Yeah, let me Google it really quick, because maybe we can try to see if that is true.
No, my understanding is that that is viewable by anyone who looks at your profile, because otherwise it would be kind of irrelevant to have there.
Right.
So I think everything that you post on here is going to be viewable. So while recommendations focus on kind of how you work with other people, or how you, in this case, how I was a tutor for other students in the Veterans Center at my city college, or just on campus in general, I was known around campus as a really good tutor, so people would come to me for help. So those are great to have. You can ask for them. My friend Doug did it on his own, which is fantastic.
Oh, that's nice.
And then your skills and endorsements. So you can take different skill quizzes to get proficiencies on different things. So if you can add a new skill, you can take a skill quiz.
Does it post it even if you don't want it? Like, what if you do a test and you mess up or something? Does it post it?
You're allowed to post, or
Or are you allowed to hide it if you don't want your score posted?
That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. Does it just like give you the option, like show on profile or not, or something?
Yeah, it's like a little slide bar. I'm trying to remember how to get to it. I might just have to go in here. I may be thinking of Indeed. I may be having the two mixed up.
What are the lines on maybe like the lines next to it?
Oh, on this
one? Yeah, what is that? Because maybe that's like something.
That I think is just to move it.
Oh.
So, okay. So I'm getting confused between job sites. I've been on.
Maybe it's like you either pass or you don't. So if you pass the skill quiz, then it says like, oh, you have phone etiquette, or you have like, it doesn't give you a score, I don't think, right?
Well, okay, so we're gonna kind of switch job sites for a second. So Indeed is another great job site, similar to LinkedIn and can be paired with it. So this is kind of where you can go to do those quizzes. So I haven't really done them on LinkedIn. They're mainly on Indeed because that's where I personally actually find positions. And so on here, you can see that, I'm proficient in a lot of things or experts in others. On these, you can view full score report as well as you can hide them when you edit it. So this is what I was thinking. This is a different site, but it's also another place where they can see where you're proficient, where you're not. The same kind of skills tests are going to be on here as well, because I think they're closely linked in some way, shape, or form. So you can always put your Indeed link up in your contact info up here. So contact info, I'm sure you can put it in here somewhere. So you can add that in as well. So that's a great way for them to be able to go to something else to kind of see those different aspects.
One more question about the recommendations. So let's say for a job, if they want recommendations, do you think it would be more beneficial to just have all your recommendations on LinkedIn and then refer them to that? Or would it be better to have have them, because I have some mentors who are like, oh, like let me know if you want me to write a recommendation for you, and I'm like, okay, I just haven't needed one for a job yet. Like, should I just ask them to just do recommend, like if they are going to do it, like could they do it on my LinkedIn and then just refer that? Because I would hate, or if it's better just to wait and have them do it for a specific job, because I wouldn't want them to do it twice, but it might look good. I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, or should I ask them to do one on there, and then if I have to do it for a job, ask for another one? Like, that's kind of where I'm at right now, but I don't know what to do.
So letter of recommendations are a little different than these recommendations. So these are just kind of general. So in this case, he speaks about me being a tutor, spending hours with each student, making sure they have proper understanding, but it's very short. It's very condensed. So a letter of recommendation is a little bit more in-depth, how the person works, how they know you, and is a lot of the times job specific. So I have had to write letter of recommendations before. And so while these highlight kind of the key aspects of what, I'm good at, he having a formal letter of recommendation is different than this.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Sorry, there's like the garbage people outside my window, so it's loud. I'm gonna mute myself, but thank you. I understand now.
So, but these recommendations are good to kind of get a little snippet of not necessarily such a formal letter, a little bit more of a, get a little better idea of who you are as a worker, as an employee, and whatnot. So those are all good things to have. And so, and then different people can come on and endorse. Like, so you can click on here. I can see who's endorsed it. It's my mom, one of my former coworkers, and my friend Doug. And so, and if you have a coworker or a friend that you're linked with on LinkedIn, go in and endorse them. Do what you can to help them. It's a great way to be able to support each other and to help each other, reach your goals. I mean, life's hard enough not to try and work with each other to succeed. You don't want to leave your friends and the people you care about hanging. So just keep that in mind. your Indeed and your LinkedIn resumes are very detailed, and your resume is just a snapshot of that. So these sites will allow employers to get to know you, get to know how you work, how others see you with the recommendations, what other people are endorsing you for, and different things like that. And to go back to our handy dandy slideshow, here are kind of some of the main sites to search jobs on. And so you've got Handshake that we use through UCSB, which is a great source for on-campus and even some off-campus positions. Glassdoor is great for, it is strictly a job search site. It is similar to Indeed, not really a social way to do it, but it's a little bit higher paying positions, government positions, things like that.
I feel like you can also, you're able to check salaries and stuff like that, which is really helpful. And there's even reviews from other people on how they enjoyed that job or what they liked and didn't like pros and cons of the position and the company, which I really like. I'm a big reviews person. The reviews good. So I like Glassdoor for that as well.
Yes. Glassdoor is fantastic for, while it may not be a social site, it is a great way to get information about companies, about kind of a good range of salary for the position you're looking for. So for me, if I was to do a research chemist, I can go on there and see kind of the average salary for that position and get an idea of what I should be aiming for, or when it comes to negotiations for pay, what I should be looking for. I personally have not used Monster in years. I haven't used WayUp or ZipRecruiter. I've used ZipRecruiter. I've never used WayUp.
I use WayUp.
Okay, you want to go over that one a little bit?
Yeah, it's pretty cute. I would say it's kind of related to LinkedIn. You have a profile, you talk a little bit about you, and with WayUp, there's certain people who are paired with you that help find and send you jobs that fit your profile. So they're kind of like a career person, and you don't have to pay for it. It's part of having a profile on the site, and they'll just send jobs your way that kind of goes with your resume or what you've been looking at or what you've been applying to in the past. They'll email them to you as well.
Good to know. I'll have to take a look at that. And then Monster and ZipRecruiter are your basic job sites. You upload a resume and you can apply through jobs through there. There's not a ton involved with those sites, but they are good as kind of I personally, for me, I would use Glassdoor, Indeed, and Handshake, and maybe WayUp. Haven't tried it yet. Before I would use Monster and ZipRecruiter, but depending on the industry you want to go into, those will be helpful as well. So if you just want to apply to as many places as possible, include those in your search. Like they're great for those kinds of things. But that's just me. And that is all, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's it. I'll go ahead, or if anyone has any questions, if you want me to stop recording, we could stop recording, but it might be beneficial if you have a question. If you do, I'm not saying you need to ask a question, but if you do, we could have it recorded for others who might also have that question when we upload it. But if not, I'll go ahead and stop recording. Thank you for viewing this, and we will see you next time. Oh, we do have one question.
Do either of you have any advice on how to make time to apply for places? So my first step, because the positions I'm applying for require months of background checks. So I've started applying and getting my resume started now. So the best thing that I would say to do is, first of all, meet with a career counselor, kind of get their take on what exactly you should be focusing on. And they might have some advice that we don't. And making time to apply is hard, but once you get that resume and you get that cover letter and you get those things done, applying is a cinch, because a lot of places are doing it online, especially now that we're virtual. Resumes, interviews, a lot of that is online. So I'd say I wouldn't do it all at once. I'd say take some time, take a couple days, maybe an hour, maybe an hour or two a day, just building your profile on LinkedIn. And then that will allow you to apply to other places, because you can link to LinkedIn on Indeed. I don't think you can on Glassdoor, so you'd have to upload a resume to that. But once you have it done, it's a cinch. And as I was saying when we started, there's a site now that the Career Center uses called VMock that you can use to upload your resume and help refine it and correct word choices and things like that. And they have it for cover letters as well. So once you get everything written down, you can upload it onto there, choose a different format if you want, and kind of go through the steps of making it a better resume. So that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Time, you just gotta kind of force yourself to do it, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, one or a few things that I have learned from other people too is that they make an Excel sheet of all the jobs they're applying to. So like the job and like maybe any links, and then letting you know like whether you received anything back, like a decline or an interview, whatever. So you kind of you can keep track of everything. Something I'm doing is, Monday through like Thursday and part of Friday, I'm trying to dedicate to school. Sometimes I'll like go off and like apply to a job, but maybe at least like right now, because you're only a third year, maybe at least an hour or two a week. It doesn't have to be like all together, but maybe like 1 hour on Friday from 12 to 1, I'm going to just apply to jobs, or I'm going to work on my LinkedIn. And you just do that consistently once a week, because instead of being like, oh, like I don't know what to do, like you're kind of just like pushing it off. If you just dedicate 1 hour of really strict hard work of like working on your resume, your cover letter, LinkedIn, or applying to jobs, is better than kind of just like a little bit here, a little bit here, all over, you know what I mean? Because then if you're like, I don't know how to say it, not like you're not putting in as much effort all the time. And maybe even putting it in your Google Calendar, like, hey, like on this day for the 2 hours, I'm going to do some of that self-help, applying to jobs kind of stuff. Instead of doing it like, oh, like I didn't do anything today and it's like midnight. You're like, okay, let me just like apply to this job. And then maybe you misspell something so it's late and you didn't have time to do it, and you put the wrong employer or something like that. So yeah, making time is hard, but you have to like decide on a day and just start with an hour or 30 minutes, whatever's like comfortable for you. And it'll come along, and maybe you can do one Saturday, Sunday. But also just remember you're a student first, and to put your school first, because I was having a problem with that. I was applying to jobs kind of over school, and it was catching up to me and stressing me out. So just get your schoolwork done first. And you also have this summer to really work on it too. If you're not taking a lot of summer classes, that's an opportunity for you to have extra time to work on that as well. So yeah, do we have any other questions? If not, we are 2 minutes from the end. Awesome. Thank you as well. Okay.
Thank you.
If we will be having another session, not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. And then I think this is our job series. So
we have 2 more.
We have 2 more. Yeah. So the next one, is it interviews or?
No, the next one is job searching, and then we'll cover interviews on our last one.
Right.
which will be in, was that 4 weeks?
Yeah. Yeah.
4 weeks.
Because we
4 weeks from today.
yeah. Yeah, the next one we'll go over specifically. We'll probably take you through the job sites that we talked about towards the end and kind of show you how to utilize those. So you won't want to miss it. Come and you can have your friends come who might be interested in that as well. And yeah, thank you for coming.